this depends a lot on the details. Well, we are not in principle against it. We also want to have a strong economy in Switzerland, but it depends a lot on the details. And I'm sure we can find a good solution with the Mercosur, but it needs the will of our government to find a good solution for agriculture.
Do you feel that agriculture is being sacrificed in this deal?
Well, until now, we cannot say because we don't know the details, but actually there is also a second agenda of the government, which is trying to liberalize agriculture independently of the need. And this makes this discussion very emotional, let's say. And well, we don't want to be sacrificed for other sectors. That's what we would not accept.
There's been a lot of concern expressed regarding meat producers here.
Argentinian beef meat is a very good quality beef, and we like it. But we also have good beef meat in Switzerland, but it's more expensive. It's like everything else, it's more expensive to produce it in Switzerland. And we are a grassland. Switzerland is a grassland. And we have huge surfaces in the Prealps and in the Alps, which can only be used for animal production. And many farmers had to switch from milk to beef meat. They have now a mother cow production system. And what shall they do else if they cannot produce beef meat? They cannot go back to milk.
Sugar is another point. Is that I know that it's been less discussed as one of the concerns.
Our main concern with sugar is that if the European Union is making a big concession on it, that there is an indirect price effect on the Swiss price because there is too much sugar on the market in the European Union.
What would the deal that we're talking about now would be basically in line with the EU? Is that the case? Or do you think that there may be certain differences? I know you're saying that there are no details yet, but what would be ideal for you? I guess in the EU, the farmers would have similar concerns as here in Switzerland.
Well, I have very tight contacts with the European colleagues. We are exchanging regularly. I also exchange with the colleagues in the Mercosur. So I receive also a little bit the farmer's perspective on needs and interests. And there is not much difference in the perception of the European colleagues, but they are more in a competition situation already. So in some perspective they are not so vulnerable, but at the same time they have already the water here.
Just going back to meat production, is the standards of production, what can you specify exactly? What?
Well, with the standard of production there is two philosophies. There is the philosophy of the old world, where we have a prevention approach. So if food or a production method could be bad for human health, it's forbidden until it's proved that it's not dangerous. And the new world approach is it's allowed as long as it's not proved that it's not good for health. And there will be a lot of discussions also, especially if we come to the discussion about hormones. And now our government is saying, well, hormones are forbidden for a long time in Mercosur. And now we are proving this, and we found out that some products are not seen as hormones in Switzerland, but the same products like ractopamine is used very often. In the European Union, it's seen as a hormone. So the question is, what is hormone and what is not?
What has the communication been between your group and Swiss farmers and the government? Is there an issue with communication?
Well, there was a certain dispute, which was mainly starting that we were so happy that our new constitutional article on food security was supported by the public with almost 80%. So it was huge. And a couple of weeks later, the government came up with its new strategy, which is very much focusing on market liberalization unilaterally, so proactive liberalization. And we were not really involved in the preparation of this. And actually we had no possibility to discuss bilaterally in advance. So we were invited together with 40 other people from all different branches to discuss about the new agricultural strategy. And imagine with another branch, like with the watch industry, the government would come up with a new policy or new strategy without discussing with this sector before. And so this made the whole thing very emotional from the beginning. And it was very also frustrating for us that the question of the strategy and the specific project of Mercosur were mixed up.
Mr. Schneiderman just got back from his tour of the Mercosur countries. He went with 50 representatives from Switzerland. Were you invited at all at some stage?
Yes, our main representatives were invited. So our president and our general secretary, they did not participate also because of this political situation. We have indirectly participated as a sector and have the information at least, but it's also a question to be consequent, and we really expect the government to discuss with us directly and also to inform us before they inform the media.
Switzerland is one of the countries that gives probably the most support proportionately to agriculture. There's been some talk about eventually phasing in, the opening of the markets. Do you expect that this support may still continue for some time, or may have to be increased in the future?
Well, first of all, we always distinguish between subventions and direct payments. And if you check our direct payment system, you will see that you don't receive money for free. You have to do many things. And I can tell you the costs are often not really covered that you have. If you participate in these programs to improve biodiversity, you have also costs, and you have to extensivate your surfaces. So, and all these costs shall be covered by the direct payments. That's the idea. And if it comes to subventions, we are rather low in the international setting. It also has to do with the fact that we have so high production costs in Switzerland. We have a very strong economy, and we are also supportive for this economy. But it's clear, if you have a very rich country and where labor is so expensive, we also expect something back.
With all these issues that we discussed, how do you see Swiss agriculture going forward? Do you think that Swiss branding is going to be able to offer some miracles still in terms of supporting Swiss agriculture?
Well, it's an important factor. The Swissness is, there is a lot of studies saying that Swissness is contributing 10 to 20% to the price. So for a similar product, consumer will be willing to pay more. But it's limited, so if the price difference is too big, then it's not working anymore. So the question is also how we can keep this price difference in a certain level. Yeah. But it's clear Swiss agriculture, there is so much regulation, there is societal expectations and so on. We have some strength on quality and sustainability and so on, but we have the weakness that we are too expensive, too small structured, too not efficient enough also because of the natural conditions. So we will never be the most competitive in the world. So this means we have to find another model of agriculture,
Which
and this will be the family farming model for sure. This is making a difference, and that's what our society wants.